Hello, Taurus. Welcome to Pure Tarot. I'm attempting to answer the question, how will you become famous? It is a trial series. I've done Aries and I've loved the reading, so I'm hoping all 12 signs will be conclusive or at least interesting to you guys. So let's just jump in. I'm using the Moonology deck to get an idea of the phase of the moon under which maybe this particular thing will happen for you. So let's see. There's one thing I do want to point out. Not everybody's going to want to be like a super famous, right? Or become a celebrity, but we all kind of want to have a successful life, at least in our eyes. So you know, this reading is still applicable is what I want to say. So let's see what comes out. What does the Moonology deck want to say? I prefer pop-outs, so bear with me, and if really the cards don't manifest themselves, then I will extract one for you. There, one sort of didn't totally flip out, but noticeably spoke up. So take time to breathe out, and it's the disseminating moon. It's really interesting because I got the third quarter moon for Aries, and I might be wrong, but I did associate the third quarter moon as being a disseminating moon, or at least in that portion of the moon phases, right? So I am going to tell you the same thing. Disseminating moon is about, you know, really putting information out there, putting yourself out there, being someone who shares their ideas, their thoughts, so that someone that has something to teach, really. And in this case here, take time to breathe out. I will take it into account, but maybe ulteriorly, let's just keep drawing cards for you. I'm going to pull one of these. I believe it's the Triad Oracle deck. It's in French. I will translate, of course. It's only one word, but it speaks volumes. You have two cards, Taurus. You know, wow, I can't make this up. I can't. This is insane. It's insane. It's richesse is wealth and lumière is light. And I got lumière. I have another deck that is a makeshift deck in French, and lumière came out in the other deck for Aries. Okay, if you don't have any Aries placements, well, there's an Aries around you, there's something, or maybe in terms of timing, transits and stuff like that, maybe there's something there for you. Maybe in terms of progressions, right? If you're looking at your progress charts, you might have one of your personal planets in Aries. Anyway, this is fame. This is fame, like, this is huge fame. Huge, 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 huge. I don't even have any other word for this. Because lumière with the sun here, I was telling Aries, and I didn't say it really, but you know, planets gravitate around the sun. So I mean, people will gravitate around your lights, and it'll bring you know, wealth. This is literally, and it's considered abundance as well. So, I mean, wealth will come through, you know, not just money. You'll be wealthy in, you know, having beautiful people around you, opportunities that are magnificent. This is incredible. It's almost, I mean, it's so similar, it's scary. This is my makeshift deck. They're just keywords on blank cards. They're in French, but I will, of course, translate. It's just one word, right? This is insane. I'm sorry. It's just really amazing to be doing, answering a question such as, how will you become famous? The card fell on the floor. I have to go get it. Sorry. I'm just gonna finish my trail of thought. It's insane to me to address this topic and have the cards like being so, answering them like so precisely, right? Excuse me, please. Okay, that's an interesting word. It's gonna be a challenge to interpret this. It's branche. Branche, it's like a branch, right? So it could be the branch of a tree, but it's also in a business having a branch, right? So if you have a particular, like not just a well-established business, but I mean, it could be, I mean, it doesn't have to be huge, but you'd have enough substantial growth that you want to open a branch, meaning you'd want to have the same, offer the same products or services in a different state, in a different province, or even branch out in terms of, you know, the services you offer, right? So let's say you're doing, I don't know, cosmetics, whatever, anything. Let's say you're doing eyeshadow, then you want to do nail polish, perfumes, whatever, right? It's branching out. So there's something to be said about, so I'm hearing different, obviously generating different streams of revenue, having multiple streams of revenue. Also, by analogy, right? If it's a tree, you could think of how the tree will, I hope you knew this, but a tree, what you see, like the branches you see in the foliage, at least the branches, it's exactly the same. The roots are shaped the same under the earth, right? So I want to go to, I'm talking about the roots as well, right? It's talking about stability, being well implanted. So far, that's what I have. Let's start digging with the tarot, which should be showing more specifically how it occurs, what happens, who's around you, that kind of stuff, right? Okay, there's one card that wants to come out. It didn't turn per se, and I'm not turning it. It's still face down, but I am taking the card. I'm gonna stay a little bit quiet. Two cards fell. I'm gonna do like for Aries. 3 mini piles came out. So far I have one card solo. I have two that flipped. I can only see the first one, which is Judgment, but let me show you. Like they came out like this, right? So I still don't really know what's under it. And I can maybe just shuffle for you so you can see what comes out next. So we have the Hierophant, and then this card, so I'm gonna take that one, I'm gonna put it this way. We're gonna start with this. Oh, I wanna show you. You see how it splits here? Just by holding it. I'm actually gonna open the deck And I'm gonna take that Six of Swords in reverse. Okay, so let's turn these around. These came out together. Okay. So I might draw some more or clarify with more cards. We'll start with this. So let me go back to Ten of Swords in reverse, came out solo. Ten of Cups with the Judgment. The Hierophant in reverse with the Strength. And that Six of Swords in reverse that I pulled out from the middle of the deck. Well, you've had some dark days, Taurus. Yeah, you've had some dark days that you have, I'm hearing, worked patiently and that you've worked patiently through. So it required your natural abilities of resilience and endurance, right? Your persistence, those qualities, inherent qualities, were very useful to go through whatever times they were, whatever situations they were. I want to say that you've been hurt in the past, right? But the card being in reverse, what I'm emphasizing for you here is that those days are gone, they're done, but they're gone. It's really the word that came. So that's good. So, you know, it could refer to situations, people, circumstances, even emotions. You know, you could have had dark thoughts, whatever they were, right? So I'm reading it as being in the past because the card is reversed. But I want to say here that it plays a part in your future, and it plays a part in how you become famous. So with anything in life, any growth, all the lessons and all the previous experiences, of course, they serve you, because whatever you've learned, whatever you have endured, or whatever you want to say, is serving as a building block, right, for what's coming. I want to say it's like preparation, like almost preparing for an exam. That's interesting. I'm gonna keep that word exam or examination. It rings a bell, like it, I don't know, it sounds right. I want to see if it leads anywhere. And then we have another little group here. It's interesting. 2 tens, right? So after, like, for me, it's like night and day. It's really night and day. So maybe you are at a moment in your life where it's the dawn of a new day for you. I want to say that this new day is, you know, fame coming along, or, you know, that success that you're seeking, that you're and success again, you know, like we're talking about fame here, but, you know, everything's relative. Just keep that in mind. So the judgment being here, I want to say that you're being given a second chance, like a second go. It's almost like Source is telling you, it's like a reward. It feels like it's definitely a calling. I want to say that there's something about finding your vocation, making you really happy, and it might be through the way you interact with others closely, like the people that are really close to you. So maybe you finally have attracted, after many lessons learned, maybe you finally attracted the right people. So the right players on your team. You could also have the players, your spirit team, in the same way, right? They're coming now at a particular time, at the dawn of this new day, of this new era for you, like a new beginning, a new life almost. I feel like you're, how do I say, like the right, I don't know how to say this. It's like coming into your own, but it's also being born again, like, but not like those religions, right? Not the Christians or whatever they're called. The ones that say they're born again, but it's the same idea, really. Okay, it's, I don't know, it's kind of weird, but I still want to show you. You know, you see these cups, they're not just like a cup and how do you say? They almost look like, I can't describe this in English, I'm sorry, hold on. I mean, you see the drawing, right? The cups have the way where you would put liquid is exactly the same as the bottom part, right? You could almost invert them, and maybe they're hollow both ways, and you could put water either way, right? Either side. But what I was looking at, which is kind of strange, is, you know, the shape of the trumpet, right? So this basically V shape, sort of, and being hollow. And what I'm getting at is that this is 10 cups, but then you have 20 possibilities here. And judgment is the 20th major arcana, or at least, because the Fool is like the 22nd, but you could say like 0, right? So anyway, but it's 20 on the judgment. Not too sure what that would mean, except maybe extreme abundance, as was pointing out here. It's almost like, you know, this amazing, it's interesting, the same thing happened for Aries again. This is really, really, really strange here. I'm gonna show you, okay? I'm gonna tilt the camera again. So here, you have the abundance card with the light, and if I place them, they're right above the 10 of Cups and the Judgment, and they really work together. Like the wealth here is seen also on the happiness. It's a wealth of happiness with the 10 of Cups, and the light here is like being it's the calling, right? It's the fact that you have this particular energy coming from above, shining down on you or illuminating you, And like the spotlight, like if you were on a stage, it's the same. All these same images are, for me, they're like almost you could superimpose them. It's just the message is being repeated. I really want to, the vocation is important too, the vocational part, like your fame is closely linked to discovering your vocation or living it out. Maybe you kind of knew already deep down, but maybe it wasn't manifest outwardly because of those dark days, right? Let's go on. Here, Hierophant in reverse with the strength. So the strength is Leo. Leo is the sun. You have a mini sun here. I was describing how you could have some Aries placements just because of all the amazing crisscross here with excuse me, so many there's so many correlations and so many similarities with the Aries read I just did yesterday. But there's something about the month of August that is meaningful to you, because it's where your strength lies. And for me, it's like sometimes people, I mean, I've noticed this in my own life through astrology. I've noticed that obviously with the transit hitting my natal chart, right, there are kind of particular cycles, right? There are particular months that I'm that I know, like, okay, this kind of stuff will happen, or if it's never really just always the same, but there are some months that are more crowded or more with more events, or you know what I mean. So that plays out here, and I think August is significant for you in that sense. So it's funny, this reading is strange because compared to Aries had very and I'm sorry to bring it up, but I can't help it because this is my only you're the second sign that I do this, and it is a trial reading, meaning it's the first time I do it. So for them, like the tarot was pointing out to what they needed to do, or the things that would sort of help trigger, you know, and like sort of shift you into fame or huge success, or, you know, in your case it's really awkward, but because these two cards came out, it almost feels like you're already successful. You know what I'm saying? Like it's you're almost being like, so far it's a different vibe on this read. So what I'm mentioning this because I want to sort of how do you say it? Preface this what I'm about to say here. The Hierophant in reverse for me is a rejection of your previous sets of beliefs and values. It's almost like you're going backwards, you know, clean slates. Maybe it's necessary to do so, right? I think maybe you need to rebel against either your own preconceived notions of how, you know, whether it's your life or whatever aspect of your life that I sense would have been holding you back, and that has ties with your dark days, particularly maybe your childhood, right? Which is often the case for everyone, I want to say, to be honest. But fame relies on having the courage to rebel, to reject, to literally recreate yourself in that sense. Like, it's so very deep, right? Because it's like whatever you might have believed about yourself, about your own success, about what your vocation was, about what your path was, how you would become known, what you would be known for, how people would know you, you know, or, you know, versus how they knew you to be in the past. So it could be, like I said, I was mentioning your close family circle initially. So it could be like not just the family you choose to create within a partnership, but already like just your family, extended family. And by extension, like, I want to say your close friends, right? And maybe the people that are important in your community, like the ones that are that have a role to play within your community. But like the smaller circle of your broader circle, it's always that what I'm trying to say here. It's like this, yeah, the smaller, the really so even if it's like people in your community, which is considered a broader circle versus your family or your partner, right, whatever, it's still like there's a specific number of these people within that group. Those are considered your close community links, ties. I hope I'm clear. I'm seeing the branch card here, and it really, I see the image of all of these circles as being these leaves on the tree, on those branches, and really it's those, it's how can I express this? Yeah, they're like mini circles, mini I'm not gonna go on with this. I hope you catch my drift. There's something I want to say. I mentioned, you know, rejecting, rebelling about your beliefs and your values, but the strength being here, it also speaks to your physicality, so physical body. So for me, it does point to sexuality, and it is the 8th major arcana. The infinity symbol is 8. So when you think of the 8th house, it's the house of sexuality. So for me, there's a link. Maybe you are discovering something about that for yourself. And I think it's significant in terms of who you become, and as you become this new you, being born again, it ties in, it plays into you becoming famous. or at least, like I explained, how people see you and what they know of you versus what they knew of you. Do you understand? Like the night and day phenomenon here again. And then we have this card at the end that I decided to pull myself. So on this one I will pull another card. I want to know why there's no movement, and the Page of Wands came out. It's really strange. I'm getting the same image of night and day because I see, you know, I see this rod, this bâton that, this branch that the passer, like the boat passer, I don't know if that's the right word, passer, but the one who carries you across, right? I see the same rod here on the Page of Wands for me, but this one is like, it's black, this rod is black, so, and this one is, let's say, white or gold, and so it's the night and day phenomenon again for me. Like before you had a big X, like, you know, it's funny, I see a big X here and there's no movement, like a door shut, dead end kind of thing. And here it's like, here you get a green light, you get a golden scepter, you get, you know what I mean, like, those are just images, right? But symbolically what they evoke for me is I think there's like two paths ahead, possibly in your future. I think you're being called to, and I say called because of the judgments, you're being called to have to discern which one to take. And I think that one leads you to fame and one doesn't. I want to say that you will choose the right one because we have wealth and light, because you have the angel here protecting you, and the angel wouldn't have called you or brought you to your calling just to have you hit your nose against a closed door. So for me, but I want you to see something again. I'm sorry, I'm tilting, you know, so the three groups here, this calling, and then to reach the place where your path separates and you choose the right one to fame, right? This needs to happen in between, like this reset, this overthrowing everything you knew, everything you thought you knew, everything you maybe even the way you perceived fame itself, which is an interesting thing to say here. Almost like releasing fame for fame, because like if you like cling on to like, I want fame, I want to be famous, like in a sort of desperate way, it's how it's coming through. It's almost like being forceful, and for some reason your flow is not there. So it's really asking you to surrender here. Like the lion, he totally surrenders. He is not, he's allowing, so it's that kind of energy here. So for me, it's a big yes. I want you to know that it's in your future. If you were wondering, you are going to become famous. I mean, you might not become like a worldwide or known celebrity, but it's really possible. Trust me, with these cards, it's possible. But yet, you will become very well known in a particular field if it's not that kind of level with being like worldwide renowned. It is substantial enough that well, first of all, you won't ever have to worry about money. I can tell you that. I think you can actually, you probably I'm sensing you wouldn't know what to do with your money. That's interesting. Just remember, the same way you need to rebel here, so to speak, the same way you're being asked not to get stuck in your ways, right? So in your old ways. So I really see a correlation between these three cards. Your dark days, your maybe your very difficult experiences within childhood and the hurt that they created and the negativity that maybe you've been carrying. The way you overthrow that and like making sure you don't revert back, you don't get stuck in those old ways, right? So that's what I have for you. I hope you enjoyed the reading. It was interesting. And if you're into astrology, I really invite you to look at your placements and your transits. Think about the month of August or anything that has to do with the sign of Aries and the sign of Leo particularly. So which house and which either personal planet you have, well, planets you have there, and what transits are occurring now or will eventually occur. There's something there for you. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. Please like the video, share, subscribe. I'll see you soon.